Hi there, and welcome to our evaluation presentation for our final design project. My name is Sean Santoro, and my partners are Mackenzie Rideout and Khalil Dahala. In this presentation, I'll be discussing our function tree, how we used our function tree to create a morphological chart, how we used our morphological chart then to create our preliminary designs, then how we evaluated those preliminary designs, and then how we selected our final design using our evaluation matrix of our preliminary designs. Let me begin with our function tree. The function tree begins at the very top with our most general and broad function. In this particular case, it is to maximize the amount of points we receive in our design competition. That function is then broken down into subfunctions. These subfunctions are more detailed than our original general function. However, they then can be broken down into further, more detailed subfunctions that can be assigned to particular group members to be working on. Some important, very detailed subfunctions include removing the rubber obstacle from home base, and dropping a golf ball in each quadrant. These are important functions because they can tie back into our general function at the very top, which is to maximize the design competition points that we receive. Let's move on to our morphological chart. In our morphological chart, in the furthest left-hand column, you'll see our most detailed subfunctions from our function tree. In the right-hand columns, you'll see possible design solutions for those specific subfunctions. As I continue on, you'll see a little bit of a more detailed view of what those design solutions may be. These design solutions will then be used in different combinations to create our preliminary designs. Let's move on to our preliminary designs. In our first preliminary design, we have shown three major subfunctions. The first being to remove the chew toys into the adjacent zones. We do this with scissor arms. The scissor arms can collapse and they can extend, thus pushing the chew toys into the adjacent zones. The second subfunction is to raise a golf ball 3 inches in the air. We do this with dead weights and a concentric tube. As the dead weights move downwards, the concentric tube moves upwards, thus launching the golf ball. Our third subfunction is a foldable ramp. The ramp extends out towards the rotating center, and ping pong balls roll down the ramp and into the center. In our second preliminary design, we now have a combination of our morphological chart in which swinging arms are included, as opposed to the scissor arms which extend and retract in a very horizontal linear fashion. These swinging arms are raised upwards and downwards, lock into position thanks to a wheel and a joint. Two rods are connected to a joint, one is connected to a wheel, and they extend outward, thus pushing the chew toys into the adjacent zones. Our third preliminary design is a combination of a morphological chart that includes a scissor lift to raise the golf ball 3 inches in the air, our foldable arms, and now a foldable PVC pipe as opposed to the foldable ramp. So the foldable PVC pipe has the same foldable function, however it's made of a different material, thus making the golf balls roll down the ramp in a different fashion. The scissor lift also extends upwards in a separate fashion from the concentric tubes. In our fourth and final design iteration, we now have a morphological chart combination that includes a shooting mechanism that shoots the ping pong balls into the rotating center, and then we have a scissor lift for both the arms and the lift to lift the golf ball 3 inches in the air and to remove the chew toys into the adjacent zones. Now let's move on to the evaluation matrix. In our evaluation matrix, you can see our 4 preliminary designs. Each of the preliminary designs are compared to one another using the customer requirements shown in our house of quality. The preliminary design that met the customer requirements from our house of quality the most and the best was preliminary design number 2. As highlighted, it has the highest total and the highest relative total. Thus, we are going to select number 2 as our final design. Our final design choice was preliminary design number 2. In preliminary design number 2, we have a telescoping arm, we have a foldable ramp, and we have our swinging arms. We found out that these 3 major subfunctions complete the tasks that they are designed to do the most effectively. And because they're the most effective at completing those subfunctions, we chose this as our final design. Thank you.